Hello, all you hardcores out there. How are you doing? It's Russ here from Porky's Corner, the biggest gob in sport. We say the things on here that nobody dares say.
Hey?
Hello, Terry. Hey,
How you doing, mate?
how are you doing?
Man, I'm all right. Hey, your hero is at the lodge today.
Oh,
Big Joe Egan.
Big Joe Egan's in Sunderland, isn't he? On a weekend, 20 quid a
Listen,
ticket, and you get curry and rice.
I tell you
Get
that if I see him this week, Porky, I'm going to get you on the phone to him.
me on phone to him, and I'll meet him anywhere that he wants, and we'll have a tear up because the guy's a fraud.
Hey,
That is
hey,
the biggest
love it.
fraud I've ever. He's the biggest fraud ever. I mean, who want to go see him? What is he going to talk about? What
Sparring Mike Tyson.
talk about, Terry?
Sparring Mike Tyson.
What? Where's footage? Where's footage? There ain't none, is there?
Mate, there was secret sparring. Apparently, you would have paid to watch it.
Mate, listen, mate. There's no. Mike doesn't even know what he were doing back then. He's just another confidence trickster, trying to nick a few quid with Big John Fury, talking a load of old pony. Let's just have a move around and get a few quid out of Turkey. They can't help themselves, can they? Some people.
Like your mate, though.
Oh, the Cobra.
Yeah. He's definitely
Oh, I
having a
knew
little
you were going to
sniff.
hit me with that one, Terry. I knew you were going to hit me with that one.
You know who's not begging for a payday?
Oh,
Andre Ward.
oh, Max has just sent me a question here. Ask Terry this question, and it's a serious one. What does he like about Andre Ward so much?
Um, I like number one. I love the fact that he's an Olympic gold medalist who became a world champion and retired undefeated. Number two, I love how he conducted himself in the ring. I love how he conducted himself out the ring. I I love the fact that with Andre Ward, here's a guy who was as hard as they come, but was always a family man. Always.
Like Usyk.
Yeah. You know when you meet people and you're like,
Yeah,
mate, you've done everything right.
yeah,
And that's what I like about Ward. And I wish and more boxers could be like that, but they're so obsessed with portraying an image. You saw it with Big Meech on Saturday, where he was pretending to be this thing that he's not.
yeah,
And everyone sees through it because you're in a room full of hard people, mate. Men, women, it don't matter.
yeah,
There are hard people in that room who can genuinely scrap. You can't pretend to those guys.
yeah. And do you know what I like? What one of the things I like about Ward, obviously, I didn't like him for getting a win over Carl Froch, but one of the things I like about Ward is he had it quite tough because his dad was an heroin addict, wasn't he? And they
Yeah,
came through it all, didn't they? I mean, his brother and that, didn't they? And he lost his
mate.
dad, didn't he, as well, didn't he?
Yeah, it's hard not to like Ward. Like the only reason you'd not like Ward is you have some affiliation to Carl. Like there's no other reason.
Yeah.
I'm not buying all this. He's boring nonsense, mate. The way he took apart Chad Dawson was not boring.
They stripped him down to 168, didn't he?
170. I think they fought at 170.
Oh, did they? I thought he 168, sorry.
Now, because Dawson wasn't going down to 168, so they said, "Now we'll meet you at 170."
Oh, I could have sworn it said 168 on box rec.
What title? Because I don't think it was for a title.
Oh, was it? Oh, maybe I'm wrong then. We'll have to get Kent to double check that.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Listen, your comment section will hold me to account on that one. I'm sure.
Oh, Terry, I tell you what. Oh, God. My comment section. Oh, my God. Half of them are acting out the fantasies, aren't they, as other people?
Mate, they love it.
I can't get enough of it. I've only got to have a little bit of a dig at James and I'm a bully. But it gives them so much to talk about, doesn't it?
They're never happy, mate. That's what I've learned.
Yeah. Uh, a lot's gone on since we last spoke. I listened to your reunion with Martin. It was nice to see the pioneers all get together, the ones who started it all off back in the day.
Yeah, we crawl so others can run, man. But I can't take credit for what everyone else has gone on and done. I say, like, just like you, mate,
Yeah.
you just carried it on your back and you ran with it. So I can't even say we were just a bunch of guys who just wanted to talk boxing. And if we told people that they could also do it, awesome, because there's some good, interesting voices out there.
Yeah. We've all stood the test of time, haven't we, kid?
That's it's consistency.
Yeah. Well, I've got no rope down tonight. I'm sat here with a plate of lasagna and a glass of red. A bottle
Mate, I never had you down as a red
of...
guy.
Hey?
Never had you down as a red guy, though.
I know, yeah. I'm a rosé man normally, but found a bottle of red Big Ron gave me years ago. I thought I'm going to get steamed into it. It's a 2012, and it's all faded on label. It in his garage. He had this big coffee making thing. I goes, what's that there, Ron? He goes, I give £5 for that one. I had his bistro restaurant. And what's all that down there? He goes, oh, a load of wine. He goes, get a bottle. And I got a couple. But he's a big red man, isn't he? And a bag of balsamic vinegar crisps.
Old school.
Old school. I don't really know where to start, so we'll start with he's retired again. According to Dan Rayfield, it's retirement number 5. What do you think?
We don't need him anymore. Like all the other times when he talked about retirement, you hoped he'd come back because you wanted to see how high up the mountain he could go. Well, we now know that. So if he doesn't come back, it's like, well, whatever. There are new names and new faces to get involved with. It creates a problem for Joshua because I don't think Joshua wants to fight any of the people on their way up because he saw what he was there in the ring with Dubois. He knows that these young guys are gunning for him. I don't think he wants that. Fury would have been an easy fight for him.
Yeah, oh yeah. I'm looking at Fury's CV earlier because somebody was saying, oh, you're a bit harsh on his CV. So can I have your opinion on his CV?
Above average, but not elite. I'd argue Joshua's got a better record than he has. And I never thought I'd say that.
Yeah, he's got 6 wins to Fury's 4 over champions.
Yeah, just for what people told us he was, mate, it's not good enough.
What a defensive genius.
All of that. Just all that nonsense for us. Like, not good enough. And people say we're just being haters, whatever. I just have a higher standard. Like when you're calling yourself the generational talent, then we need to see more. But we didn't see enough as far as I'm concerned.
Do you think he swerved people, Fury, and had us all on hook all the time?
That's a good question. I think it's one of the greatest comms in boxing history. That's what I'll say.
Do you think his Dick Turpin comment is mainly him saying, I've had it off?
No. Well, he's earned it, right? Like, look how many times he had to come off the canvas against Wilder. He's earned it. No, let's not get it twisted. He's earned it. Him reviving heavyweight boxing when he came back, he's earned everything he's done. He's earned, right? Yeah. But he's not what they told us he was, man. Like, what's the word you used earlier, mate? Confidence trickster.
Yeah. He's been down 8 times, Terry, hasn't it? 8 times.
But he's always got up, so I'm going to give him that.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you're elite, I don't know, man. It's not for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I see where you're coming from, mate. It's do you think he'll come back?
This one's harder because before, like I said, there was always a reason to come back. Now I don't even think there is a reason because I'm like, well, come back to fight who? Like, you're not going to beat Usyk. We've established that. So what are we faffing around for?
No.
I mean, he's not going to beat Usyk. He hasn't got it in him to beat Usyk. Like, I'm going to give you more chance of beating Usyk than he has.
Dripping Taps just sent me a question. I don't know if he's trying to get me in bother here. Tell Terry he's the man. What's he think of the Cobra's Saudi lick-arse? Him who win K-Show, Dave, Adam, what is he going on about here? Hang on a sec. Dripping, I can't even read your text message here, mate. You're not stoned, eh? Can you send me it in a voice text and I'll play it to Terry now?
But no, let's talk about Carl.
Go on then.
This is your mate.
I'm not going to comment on it on Carl. I've said my bit, and I'm not him, am I? What he does in his channel's up to him, innit? Obviously, I wouldn't have done what he's done because he said what he said, hasn't he? Over the last
No,
18 months.
no,
He's
and
gone out there, hasn't he? I'm
you're
disappointed.
trying to preserve the relationship. I get it, 100%, mate.
Yeah.
But I'll be real. When he came out with that Froch on fighting, I thought it was going to be a proper fighter talking about proper fighting, right? But mate, that gravy train's addictive. You know, you get a little whiff of the granules, a little gravy, a little bit of Bisto, and you're like, Charlie Parsons is doing all right out of this. He's seen people being flown business class, first class, whatever. And he sees himself out of the mix. And he's like, but I'm Carl Froch. I am a WBC champion. Come on, man. I'm in the Hall of Fame. How am I being excluded? And so I think he put his feelers out and said, what will it take to be involved? And all these guys have, Russ, is boxing. Is it right for us to take that away from them? Because I don't agree with what Carl did, because I think he's changed his positioning. And that, for me, I'm always going to call that out as an issue. But I also understand why you would do it. If they offered you the deals they were offering him, I'd say to you, Russell Hartley, take it. I would. Dead in your heart, mate, take it.
I couldn't go out there, mate. I'd lose an arm.
Well, the arm, your tail, your trotters, all of it, mate. But no, if you told me one day that Turkey's offered you X amount to be out there, I'd say take it. I would. And this is what the audience don't understand. Like, as much as we love you guys and love interacting with you guys, you don't pay the bills.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got to pay my bills, then I've got to be principled in that order. So I get why Carl's doing what he's doing. I know people say he's all right for money. I'm like, I don't know if he's all right for money like Fury is or like Usyk is. He's not all right like that, but he's probably comfortable. But he's like, I could pad out a bit more if I could.
I was shocked to see him do the interview, but he's got bollocks. I need to go out there and interview him after everything that had been said.
Now he's Carl Froch, mate. Like, remember I told you, the Saudis care about strategic assets. Carl Froch is a strategic asset. He's a British boxing great. Having Carl Froch at any kind of show adds to his credibility. He's not stupid. He knows that. Had it been, let's think of a boxer we could use as an example. Lee Haskins, for example. If it was Lee Haskins doing a channel slagging Turkey off, they wouldn't reach out an olive branch to Lee Haskins. And I like Lee, but Lee's not Carl Froch.
Yeah. Well, let's hope that he's got his foot in the door now and he can start putting it on them all.
No, and of course he won't. Like he's been read in. Like everyone else, mate, he gets read in, and then once he's on message, they'll, give him a few breadcrumbs.
I'll play Dripping's message to you. Are you ready?
All right, mate.
Here we go.
I was just going to ask him, about... Terry Russ is the man. I listen to him. Ask him if he thinks they're not going on about Adam Azim, going to be the next big thing in British boxing. Ask him how do you think he'd go on against Keyshawn Davis. And ask him what he thinks about the Cobra licking Saudi bumhole when he said he didn't like Saudi boxing. Take care. Peace out, motherfucker. Ross, I'm not stoned. Just a bit slow. I haven't smoked it for 5 years, but thanks.
What a legend. What an absolute legend, man. And I appreciate the question. We've touched on the Carl thing. I think it's fair to say most men would grab their ankles for the right amount of money. Simple as that. In terms of Adam Azim, we haven't seen him touched yet, have we?
No.
We haven't. We always say this. Before I'm willing to nail anyone to the mast, I need to see you overcome stuff. And the reason I say that is Adam Azim, I don't even think he boxed as a senior. I think he just went junior into the pros. So he's doing a lot of this hardening up in gyms and in sparring sessions. And he's doing well in those. And there's no question about that. But I don't think there's anyone at his level in terms of ring IQ. I don't think he hasn't fought anyone who's got the machine behind them like he has. Keyshawn Davis will have that. And he'll face a completely different problem. He faces a kid, I think, that might be stronger than him, as fast, and maybe better ring IQ. So I think it'll be a good fight.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm backing Keyshawn Davis to win. I think if I'm Adam Azim, I'm pushing for that Dalton Smith fight. The longer that hangs over his head, the more we have questions about it.
Yeah. Do you think that Dalton Smith and him will get at it?
Well, Shane was saying, why are we rushing it? And my argument is, look at the Fury Joshua thing, and that they've dragged out.
Yeah.
And we know what will happen between now and Easter. Fury will get up to about 23, 24 stone, right?
Yeah.
So even if he came out of retirement to fight, it's not happening till next year, realistically. And so Joshua's just there kicking his heels, going, I don't really want to fight anyone. And I've been saying this for a while. They're going to dig Wilder up again. Do not be surprised to see Deontay Wilder in Saudi Arabia in February. Because if Fury's retired, they've just got to resurrect Wilder. Find a way to make it work.
Yeah. The media at the moment, Puppy Parsons looks smart in his suit, doesn't he? I'm going to give him his dues.
But let's talk about this honestly.
Yeah.
Why weren't they doing this for Coogan?
Yeah, I'm surprised that Coogan ain't got a bit of a gig out there because he's been hanging out the back of Eddie for the last 14 years.
And he helped make Eddie. Let's not, if you look at it from
He
history,
did. He did.
He helped make Eddie. And all of a sudden, when it's time to give out the shekels, when it's time to give out the brownies, Cougar's getting nothing. He just looks like he doesn't belong anymore. And they found the young Charlie Parsons. And look, that's a 21, 22-year-old kid. I'm not knocking a single thing he did, because if I was that age, I'd be doing something similar. So I'm happy for Charlie Parsons, man. I'll say, do your thing.
Smart in his suit, didn't he? Little Parsons, little puppy, didn't he?
Yeah, look, when you do your work experience, you look like that.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? Good luck to him.
Yeah, but we do need to talk about how those guys turned their backs on Coogan when it was time to, give out the sweeties.
Yeah, do you know what I'm thinking now? I'm thinking that they, like us, think that Coogan's gone a bit stale, do you think?
Yeah, of course, man. Like, when you deliver a vanilla product, you're always at risk from other people delivering a vanilla product. And then the Saudis have gone, we're going to do our own thing. So they want to do their Ring podcast. That's not really going to work, and they'll get bored of that over time. Podcasting is not as easy as people think. You just stand in front of microphone and do some bloody talking and just get it out there, man. Just put it out there. It's like, no, it's not that, mate. There's a lot of graft that goes into being able to do a podcast, a lot of effort, a lot of, and so they'll find out. And Coogan was just, how do you put it? Coogan was Kylie Minogue, right? There comes a point when Kylie Minogue can't just be getting you number ones anymore. And you just go on to the next thing. I don't know what the next thing was after Spice Girls, whatever it is. And then he's going to the next one. But when you're Bob Dylan, you're timeless, because you can't make another Bob Dylan. And he never thought of that. Like what we do, you can't make another Porky. You can't make another Terry. You can't.
Yeah.
Because this comes, we do it from the muscle. Do you know what I mean? We do it from here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I feel for Coogan. He kind of like he's in no man's land at the moment, isn't he? Really, he's like hanging around like a bad smell, isn't he?
Just floats around. He doesn't even get the interviews first anymore.
Yeah, I remember when he used to get Eddie Hills first, Hills, didn't he, all the time?
Don't interrupt me when I'm doing me Eddie Hills.
But you know why I say Hills twice now? Because other people are nicking it and going out with Bricktop and Eddie Hills and all these other one-liners that people nick off me. So I thought I'd change it up a little
like
bit.
the Cobra.
Well, yeah, he might. Yeah. I seen him doing an interview actually with that turkey, and he were going on about Bricktop and Eddie Hills. I love all that, man, me, don't I?
Well, because you love him, man. If that was anyone else, you'd have been down their throat.
He's all right with me, isn't he? I'm just a bit disappointed that he asked me to go on his channel and he didn't get back to me. But I went, yeah, okay then. And what has it been, 11 months? It's a long time, isn't it, to ask somebody and then go back on your word, isn't it? Or go quiet on me.
Mm.
But hey ho. Bricktop acted all surprised, and so did Spencer Brown. Are we buying it? We're not buying that. I'm not.
I am. I just
Oh, yeah.
imagine, yeah, I imagine Fury was just like, why am I doing this?
Do you think that he took his soul, Usyk, Terry?
Say again?
Did Usyk take Tyson Fury's soul?
Oh yeah, yeah. There comes the point, when you realize this boxing's this really weird thing, right? You go through boxing for ages, and everything's like this kind of upward trajectory. You train well, you spar well, sparring well with your mates, and then someone shows up, and you know that they're a level above anything you're doing or could do. It just happens, Russ, and you just go, "Oh my God, who's that?" And then you realize that I'm not going to be top tier, and you just have to make peace with it. I don't know if Fury can make peace with the idea that he's not going to be top tier because he's had that moment. His time to have been top tier were those 3 fights with Wilder. And then after that, he was just hanging on.
Do you think, Terry, that Fury can feel a little bit hard done by because he went over to Germany, beat Vladimir, then it all went a bit, it went the way of the pair after that, didn't it? He obviously went off at rails for a couple of years. And then he's gone over to fight Wilder 3 times. And he's kind of like done things that nobody else could do at the time. Obviously, Vladimir had a 9.5 year run as a champion, and Wilder nearly 5 year, wasn't it? And Fury's gone and done that to both of them and opened the game up for everybody else. Do you feel that he opened the door for Saudi, and now that he's kind of like been beat, do you think he were like looking for a bit of a favour on the night with the judges, and he feels a bit hard, badly done to, and it's kind of like toys out pram job?
And there's a lot to get into there, Porky. So let's start with Vlad, right?
Yeah.
Before Vlad fought Fury, I swear he fought Brian Jennings in the fight before, right? And Brian Jennings is a non-puncher as a heavyweight. And Vlad looked terrible against Brian Jennings. And Brian Jennings is a guy who took up boxing late in life. It's why from that point on, I always thought Fury would beat him. Him having to go to Germany, that's what you do when you're fighting the champion. So I'm comfortable with that. He made decent money doing that. He just had to fight Ivan Glaskov, and he would have kept that IBF belt, and he would have kept the money train moving. Why he didn't fight Glaskov is beyond me. Yeah, that was an easy fight. That would have been an easy IBF defense, and he would have kept all of those belts, and he would have just been in the driver's seat, and he could have at that point said unify with Wilder. Imagine they'd had that trilogy. Imagine Fury had gone Vladimir, Ivan Glaskov, and then Wilder. And then if he had fought Wilder twice, 3 times, now you're looking at that Hall of Fame trajectory. But he faffed around. Just done these non-fights and non-events. And because he's got Fury's got the most one-eyed group of fans ever. I think they're not even fans of him.
Oh my God, please, you need to see my emails.
Mate, he's not they don't even like his boxing, I don't think. I think they love him. I mean, I think they actually love him.
I think it's just the gypsy community that terrorised me in the comment section and in the emails, mainly emails, personal emails. You think it's that because if you criticise them, you're classed as racist. Apparently, I'm racist against travellers because I said that I thought Fury got beat against Usyk. So you can't win either way, can you?
Yeah, I don't compete with listeners and viewers, so I can't win or lose. I just accept that they're going to say what they say. I actually don't care, and it's freed me up a lot mentally. Like, I can't please everybody, so all I can do is what I believe in.
Yeah.
And you're right, Usyk beat Fury twice, and
easily.
First one not so easy. Second one I thought was a walk in the park. The first one, that round 6. If Fury had it in him to just go through the gears, that would have been nasty. But I just don't think Fury's a killer like that. And I think it's a problem in British boxing. We don't have killers. Who's the last real killer we've had in British boxing? A guy where you're like, oh, he's going to take someone's head off at any level.
Last killer we've had
Anyway,
at heavyweight. Oof. God.
any weight. You can pick any
Bruno.
weight class.
In any weight class in the UK, the last big, massive, Golovkin-style Kovalev puncher, yeah?
No, just the guy where you're like, he's going to rip someone's head off.
Yard, Anthony Yard, I always thought he could whack.
But when he had Kovalev going, he didn't finish the job.
Yeah.
So
well, where is this big puncher from UK? Where's a massive puncher from UK?
we've got Dubois.
Yeah, he can knock houses down. Joshua can knock houses down, although he's a bit gun shy at the moment, I'd say, Teddy, would you?
But there was a time when Joshua we thought he was that killer. Do you remember when he was just, as soon as he had you going, Russ, he just jumped on you.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
And you were like, oh my God, imagine he just caught you once. It's over. And now we're looking at it going, we don't have that anymore. We don't really train kids to be nasty people in the ring. Usyk, as much as he smiles, right? I don't know. There's a group of boxers, Russ, and I always say to young fighters, watch their body language. Usyk's one of them. Opetaya's another one. Crawford's another one. And Canelo. And if you ever look at them, even when they're cracking jokes and laughing, just watch their eyes. If you're one of their rivals, they never take their eyes off you. So there's a video, I don't know if anyone's seen it, of Opetaya and Billum Smith shaking hands. It's about 5 or 6 seconds long, Russ. Not once does Opetaya even flinch. His eyes stay locked on Billum Smith for the whole time. And you can see he's looking at him like, I might have to destroy you.
Usyk did that to Fury when they first met, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Wouldn't take their eyes off him. Just because they're like, I'll take your head off now. But they don't show it outwardly. It's only when you've been around like fighters like that, you know what they're thinking. And like those guys will look at you and they'll laugh and they'll joke for the public, but they won't do it with you. They'll be like, look, we got to fight. Are you ready? Because I am.
When Fury put it on Usyk at that fight, Usyk stood his ground, didn't he, on ring apron?
Yeah.
And I thought he had his number then, me.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not even about having numbers, Porky. It's this. I'm going to fight to the best of my ability. And you just go, good luck to the other guy.
Yeah. Well, I've got Usyk down as pound for pound number one. I know people have got Inoue, but the way I see it is this. He's beating men half a foot bigger than him and 3 and 4 stone heavier. Not half a stone bigger and 3 and 4 pound. We're talking stones. It's like a featherweight going in with it's like a bantamweight going in with like heavyweight. What he's doing in it, Usyk.
Well, I'm going to challenge that.
Oh,
and the reason I want to challenge that is Crawford went from 135 to 154.
Yeah, 19 pound.
But as a percentage of his starting weight, that's a fair whack.
Yeah.
And he's undisputed twice. And not only is he undisputed twice, but he was so good, he damaged everybody that he beat. Like they were never the same after that.
Can it be said, Terry, that Crawford's hardest fight were Ricky Burns?
Yeah. Apart from this one at 154, probably.
Well, Billy Nelson,
he was never losing against Burns.
Little Billy in his corner.
But he was never really losing against Burns. So I wonder, has there been a fight where Crawford's been under a bit more pressure? Gamboa maybe, but that didn't go the distance. So that's a tricky one. Because I think there've been people that have given Crawford more problems. I thought Kell's jab in the early part of their fight gave Crawford all sorts of problems till he adjusted, and then that was that. So the people who've given him more problems than Burns did, but Burns was just hard as nails, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But I think look, if we're looking honestly, we've got to look at Crawford, 2 times undisputed as well. I think he probably had a tougher road to that than Usyk did. If you look at who he beat, Inoue is 2-time undisputed, but I think Usyk's run's better than his. So I think it's between those three in terms of that kind of pound for pound list. But in terms of the face of the sport, I still think it's Gervonta Davis.
Yeah, I'm a big Gervonta Davis fan, but looking at Usyk's career, he's like done it all on the road as the B side, and he's not had that many fights, and it's thick and deep his career, and his CV's good in it.
You can't question it.
Yeah.
There's no bit where you're like, well, he didn't fight so and so.
Yeah, I mean, he ran through undisputed, didn't he? I mean, if you look at the Brits,
Twice.
yeah, I look at the Brits really that he's beat. Yeah, I know he didn't fight Joyce in pros, but they did it without the headgear, didn't they? Joyce, Bellew, Chisora, Dubois, Joshua, and Fury twice each. That's 8 wins. He just ran through them all of them.
Hey, nice paydays.
And it's like they kept throwing people at him all the time, and they're going to throw Dubois at him. They're saying, aren't they, if he beats Parker?
Yeah, why not? But because I think, having spoken to Daniel about it, like he's genuinely upset that he didn't get that stoppage win. That's how he feels. I know people say, it was low. What I'm saying is he feels that he should have got that stoppage win. That's what I'm saying. The rights and wrongs of it, irrelevant, the decision's been made. But that's how he feels. So when he fights, it's personal for him. But I don't know if that's going to be enough. We'll see.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what happens moving sideways. What worries me right now is Joshua. If he's not going to get this Fury fight, he's got to fight somebody. He can't have his tools not sharpened. So if he's parked up, hanging on, it means that all we're going to get for weeks now is Eddie Hills saying it's close, it's this, it's that. Wembley's book, just spinning the narrative, being a spin bowler, keeping us all on hook. But we've had this now since 2011, talk of them fighting, and the heat's been turned up, especially for the last 5 years, and especially the last 4. And I think that if Joshua and him aren't going to fight, and Joshua has to fight Martin McCauley in Africa, as Juggy, as Spencer Oliver says, I think that's a tough fight for Joshua. Do you?
I think it's a career ender.
Yeah, I do. I think it could be the ending of him. But I still personally believe that Fury Joshua's always going to be there no matter what Joshua does or Fury. It'll always be there because it's ingrained in us like Pacquiao, Mayweather. Do you agree with that, Terry?
In the boxing circles, yeah. Outside of it, nah. I think people now realize Usyk's the man, and basically Fury and Joshua, it's a payday for both of them. And Brits, right now, the cost of living crisis, paying £8.35 for a steak. People aren't as obsessed with being there anymore. They're like, I'll just stream it now. Nice and simple.
Do you feel that TalkSport set Fury up today with that phoning? With people phoning into Simon Jordan and Jim White and Super Bean Adam Smith? Because every phone call, they were all savage about Tyson Fury. Do you think that were a setup and they did it
Nah, I think it's how people feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think people are disappointed. Like what Fury promised and what he delivered are two different things.
You mean like the £1 million to Piers Morgan because he was definitely retired and he'd give him $1 million if he came back? 7 million to charity. Do you think that Tyson's got a problem with the truth?
I think he's like his old man. He's obsessed with winning individual moments. He doesn't really think strategically, does he?
Well, I mean, the thing is with boxing fans, as we know, they can be very fickle, can't they? Have you seen how they... 1 minute they didn't like him when he beat Vladimir because he said all wrong things. Then he went missing. Then played sympathy vote. Then they had all drug issues. Then it was mental health. And then he won everybody back over. Then he went down the other route again. He's wound everybody up off at clock. And he keeps doing it and doing it and doing it. I personally think that he's got some serious issues in his head. Personally. I mean, why would anybody that's earned that much? I mean, Johnny Nelson's saying he's earned 400 million on TalkSport tonight. I mean, I don't know where he's got that from.
Nah, I have no idea where you got that from, mate.
But he might have had 150 or 200. But I just think that he's wound everybody up off at clock, and to hear it on TalkSport, he'll obviously will have heard that, and I just think that he might have been set up there, and Simon Jordan might be trying to play possum and be controversial. I don't know, but I've never heard him do that to him before, unless they've been waiting for this moment, because he banned them, didn't he?
Yeah. And then they let the audience members give him a kicking instead of them having to do it.
Yeah, they gave let other people fire the bullets, and they're obviously people. When you ring TalkSport, I've been told, 'cause I've heard back that they ask you what you want to talk about and all that. So it looked to me like they were just going after him. But I can understand people's anger because I've seen it. I see it in my comments and emails. They're going after Tommy. He's 10-0. Not really fought anybody. They've all got losing records, haven't they, more or less? Big John, 100-0 on the hard road, 100 by way of, 100,000 pound bare knuckle fights against Irish champion. MI5 watching him front moon. While they're watching him sell Renault Kangos and Citroen Berlingo's from a traveller camp in Wythenshawe. Why would MI5 be filming him? And I've seen it, and I think the public, in the end, have had enough. Because they wanted this fight with Joshua so much, and he's retired now, according to Dan Rayfield, 5 times. And I just think rubbed everybody up the wrong way and got wrapped up in themselves. And I think they got everybody around them. And I think they're all like nodding dogs, aren't they? Yeah, let's do a camp. Yeah, we've got Greg Marriott in. If Greg Marriott knew what he were on with, he'd be working in professional football, wouldn't he? Big strength and condition nutrition man. Well, he didn't look to me like Fury were in any good shape, but they're saying he's all in great shape. And I've seen him in 10 times better than shape than that years ago. And I've seen professional boxers or world champions look in the same shape for a decade. So why can't he do that?
He doesn't train seriously, mate. That's why. He really doesn't train seriously.
Doesn't he? Do you know that man's had one mandatory? He's Lanil. He's Lanil. Big fighting man. 4,000 years fighting stock. What was the partridge? This Lanil nonsense. He's only had one mandatory, Dylan White. One mandatory he's had. The rest of them hand-picked. And I just think all these chickens all come home to roost. It lasts for 24 hours. That's what I think, personally.
Yeah. Get a reality check. You're not that good. You realise that you're probably going to have to fight some young up-and-coming guys. You can't be bothered with that. It's not great money for that. Why do it?
Well, I'll leave you with this one for as we finish. We draw part 1 to a close. Lennox Lewis got 14 wins over champions. Fury's got 4. Steve Cunningham, an old washed-up cruiserweight, and there's a case to be made, according to border control referees, that should have been a disqualification. The first one, people are making cases for him losing that one. And then we've got the Vladimir one, 39-year-old and 8 months, and then the second Wilder win. That's his champions. He's beat 4. So Lennox is on 14 and he's on 4. He's not even top 20, is he, really, if you go down all-time greats? If you want to go on champions 1 against. He doesn't even break into the top 20 on paper. See where I'm coming from? But he's walking around with an hat on that says, GOAT. No, you want to go on to part 2, brother?
All right, let's do that.
All right, then. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. We'll see you on part 2 for more of the Big Fury roast. Pop, pop, bang. Peace out.